Welcome to episode 2 of the Road to Miatas at the Gap, season 2. So in the last episode, if you guys tuned in, you guys would know that we're getting close to Miatas at the Gap. We started off that episode with, I think, about a little bit less than 3 months away. Well, as of today, we are 51 days away from leaving. And as you can see, I have a bare block right here, almost a bare block. There's still some parts on it. So today we're gonna get this block prepped to put it back together. Now, this video is probably gonna draw a lot of controversy. A lot of people are probably gonna hate me for what I'm about to do, but we're gonna do it anyway, and we're gonna see what happens. Now, we pretty much kind of explained what we were doing in the last video, but I don't think we explained how ghetto we were gonna be getting. We're trying to basically rebuild this engine for the cheapest we possibly can, while still doing a good job. Now, obviously, I would love to take this thing to a machine shop and get it done properly, get it all honed out, get it decked, and all that good stuff, and just have a brand new block and a brand new engine to put together. However, for one, we don't have enough time for that, and two, we don't have enough money for that. So I know a lot of you guys might be in the same situation where you want to rebuild your engine. You would do it if you could, but maybe you don't have the money for a machine shop. Maybe you don't have the money to go crazy on a full rebuild. And maybe you just want to do it yourself. Maybe you're just a DIY guy and you want to do everything you can in your garage. And that's what we're going to try to do here. Now, I'm not recommending that you do this, what we're about to do. I mean, if you don't care, then go ahead, give it a go. But just know that the way we're going to be rebuilding this engine is not the proper way to do it. And it may or may not end up biting me in the ass. If we make it to Miatas at the Gap and back, I'll be pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, I'd like it to last a lot longer, but the plan is to actually take the engine that's in here and then take that one apart after that and put that one all together nicely, because that was actually the plan for this engine. We were going to put this junkyard engine in the car, take this engine, rebuild it right, put that one in there, but now we're just swapping it because we got this engine out of the car, so we're going to get this one together from Miatas at the Gap, and then this one is going to come out and we'll do that one the right way at a later point in time. We're only replacing the rod bearings and the piston rings and then all the gaskets on the motor. So we're using the stock piston still. We're also going to do the valve seals, clean up the head, disassemble it, and just clean it up as much as we can, put it back together, new seals. Hopefully it's going to be good. So the plan for today is pretty much just get this block just prepped up. We're going to get it grinded down, cleaned up nice, paint it. We're going to try to resurface this block as best as possible. We're going to hone out the cylinders and see how good we can get it looking. Overall, it's not looking too bad right now, but you never know what we might find once we start trying to get this head flattened out, and once we start honing out these cylinders, we might find that this block is actually no good. And if that's the case, then we're going to have to figure something else out quick. But anyway, 52 days away until we leave from Miatas at the Gap. By the time this video gets posted, it'll probably be closer to like a month. So let's just get right to it, guys. Show you what we're working with here. All right, so before we officially get started, I just want to show you guys the condition of the block that it's in right now. As we can tell, we got a lot of rust here. We did power wash this and degrease it yesterday. So not really too much grease on there. Pretty good. So we're gonna wire wheel the whole sides of the block and then end up just painting it. So top of the block definitely is not looking great. As you can tell, there's a lot of discoloration here. There's definitely a lot of grooves and inconsistencies that I could feel even just with my finger. So hopefully we'll be able to get this thing pretty flat with what we're about to do today, which again, guys, I'm just warning you guys, it's gonna be really, really ghetto. I know for some of you guys that are watching, it's gonna make you guys cringe. You guys know exactly who you are. I'm sure I'm gonna hear about it later. But when you see this car at the Gap, then we'll talk, all right? I think it's gonna clean up pretty nice. Let's keep spinning it. Other side right here, we got our oil filter still in there. Now this is the part that it's probably gonna bite me in the ass. I'm leaving the crank in here. So I'm doing all this and I'm not taking out the crank. And some of you guys might ask, why would you go that deep and not take out the crank? And to be honest, I don't have a great answer besides just I'm lazy. I don't know what I'm doing. It feels like it spins pretty good by hand, and I just don't want to open up another can of worms. So I'm going to leave the crank in there and save myself some time, save myself some money, and probably end up causing me more headaches down the road. But I don't know. I think in my heart, I feel like the main bearings are pretty good, and I'm going to send it. So see what happens there. This is just going to be an experiment, learning experience, and there we go. That's what the block's looking like. Let me show you all the parts we got on the table. So on this table right here, you're gonna find basically the whole entire rest of the engine. Everything that's supposed to be on the engine that's not on the block is right here. Got our oil pan here, the head here with the intake manifold still put together. We're gonna go over the whole head. That's gonna probably be the next video. We're still gonna do some work on this head, but we gotta still prep it and everything. Today's main focus is just gonna be the block. Over here, we got some hardware, stuff like that. And now we've got some valve seals. Yes, aftermarket guys. Like I said, we're trying to keep this cheap. Aftermarket rod bearings. And we got some very, very cheap aftermarket piston rings. And now we have all the pistons here. Now, these are the stock pistons, of course. What's crazy is that we actually sent this one through the ultrasonic cleaner just to test it. I mean, look at that thing, guys. That thing is looking almost brand new. It's definitely not looking brand new, but cleaned up pretty damn nice. So we're gonna end up sending all these through the ultrasonic cleaner, cleaning up those as well. And yeah, so that's everything on the table right there. And one last thing, guys, before we go any further with this video. Like I said, we got aftermarket rings and bearings here, and we're doing some really janky stuff. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in this video, and I just want to say that it's perfectly fine. Please, guys, send all the hate you want. I don't care. I'm trying to do this to see if this is a viable option for people that don't want to go spend a couple $1,000s on rebuilding an engine. And I think it's going to be a pretty good test because we're putting this stuff together. We're going to put the engine in the car, and then we're going to drive it from New Jersey to Tennessee, drive it on Tail of the Dragon, and then we're going to drive the car back. And if it holds up for that, then like I said, I'll be pretty happy. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a long-term solution. Just know if you guys are using these types of aftermarket parts in your engine, don't expect the same longevity that you might get if you're going with OEM parts, or if you're going with like upgraded stuff like that. Obviously, you're gonna get what you pay for, and this stuff is very, very cheap. So it's not like if we put this together and the engine blows up right away or it doesn't work, then I'm gonna really be that mad. I mean, obviously, it's gonna suck. But I already know what I'm getting myself into, essentially. I'm excited for this. It's taking way too long. And once we finish this engine build, we got a lot more stuff to do on this car. This is just the tip of the iceberg, just the beginning of it. And get this thing running, then we could do everything else. But we got to get it running first. So I know I'm yapping a lot in this video. I'm about to just get to work right now. Alright, so we got the block all cleaned it down, grinded up a bit. Now, could we have gotten this a lot cleaner if we actually put some more elbow grease? Absolutely. Are we just going to slap a layer of paint on it and call it a day? Absolutely, even more. So the next step is where shit actually starts getting really ghetto, because what we've got here is the block that we've painted the top with Sharpie so we can see what's going on. And then we've got a piece of glass here with 150 grit sandpaper on it. And that's right. We're gonna just sand this down with the flat surface of the glass and see if we get all this Sharpie markings off and get a nice, fresh, clean surface. Just gonna start sanding it down. It's getting there. Just went at it for a little bit with sandpaper, and it's not looking amazing, but it's definitely looking better. So we got all the Sharpie off, so that's pretty good. So
that's a good sign.
I think we're gonna call it there and start seeing about honing out these cylinders now. And now for honing out the cylinders, we're gonna be using this fancy cylinder honing tool right here, which just goes on a drill and just spins in there. It's my first time ever using this before, and I got it off Amazon for 15 bucks. So hopefully it works and doesn't destroy my engine. All right, wish me luck. Alright, so we're all honed up in there. It's not looking amazing, but it's definitely looking better than it did. Everything looks pretty even for the most part. We got some nice cross hatching going on in there. So I don't really know if that's what it's supposed to look like, but hopefully that's going to be good. And now next thing I want to do is get these pistons cleaned up. As you can tell, they're pretty dirty. And as you guys know, we're using the OG pistons from this car. We're not putting anything new in there. Sticking with the OEM stuff. Just gonna drop them in the ultrasonic and see how clean we can get them. We did clean one of them already, and that one cleaned up really, really nice. So hopefully they all clean up as well. I'm doing them one by one, just so that way I don't mix them up. I want to make sure that, you know, like this is cylinder 2. It's probably, that Sharpie's probably gonna come off. So just gonna do them one by one and just do some other stuff in the meantime. So now I've got the pistons in the ultrasonic cleaner. So the last thing to do to prep this block is gonna be paint it. Then we should be able to throw the pistons back in. So I got some tape here. I'm gonna just tape it all off, mask everything I gotta mask, and we'll get some paint on it. All right, so now we got this block all taped up, masked off where it needs to be. Let's get a layer of paint on there, and then we'll get ready for reassembly. Paint's all dried up, and this block is honestly looking fantastic. For a quick little spit shine, you know, just a little bit of sanding, a little bit of paint, a little bit of grinding. It's looking really good. I just spent like a ton of time cleaning this thing. I didn't even want to bore you guys with it, but cleaned it from the bottom, from the top, basically just got it as clean as possible. And I'd say it's pretty much almost ready for reassembly. So I think the next step is going to be to start getting these pistons ready and start getting the piston rings ready, get everything assembled. And then we'll be able to go ahead and get them installed into the block. So next, I'm just gonna measure out all the piston rings and make sure the gaps are all good, and then we'll get them installed onto the pistons. Got our little workstation set up right here. Pistons are all finished up being cleaned. I think they honestly came out amazing. Like, not perfect, like honestly, like you see at the top, like there's still some black on there, some carbon. And we got the ring grooves all as clean as possible. Rods are looking really good. And they're all cleaned up. And now I've been measuring out the gaps on here. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all that stuff. This, I really just want to keep this about putting it together. Alright, rings are installed and all the pistons. On to the next steps. Alright, so now it's the next day. We're nice and refreshed, and I think it's time to start getting these pistons put into the block. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it down one more time, make sure that thing is nice and squeaky clean. Just make sure it's good. I don't want any particles or debris in there, but clean it, install the pistons, and see how it's looking. I'm really excited for this because this is my first time ever doing anything like this. So far, it's been a really good learning experience. After we get the block put back together, then we got to start working on the head. The head's pretty much going to get a full tear down and new seals and good stuff like that. But that'll probably be for another video. So for today, let's just go ahead and get this block put back together. All right, so everything's nice and clean. We cleaned this thing down like 10 times off camera. Just wanted to make sure it was as clean as possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and coat these cylinders now with a little bit of oil and just get this first one in there. We got our fancy compression tool here, so I got to figure out how to use this. All right, so the problem with this tool is that it doesn't seem to make a perfect seal in there. Kind of leaves a little gap. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep fucking with this thing, and we'll get them in eventually. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I think that one went in. She's in there. We got one down. All right, first one's in there. I know it's a little thing, but for me that's a big deal. So now I get the rest of them in here and see you guys once all those pistons are in. I think we are all ready to get this oil pan on, so let's get her done. All right, so I think the block is just about ready to go. Got the oil pan on there and it's all painted, pistons on there. Should be good for the lower end of the motor. Still got to change out the front main seal and the rear main seal, which we're waiting to come in the mail. Now, next step is going to be figuring out what to do with this head that's over here. Again, we're going to do something similar to what we did with the block. We're going to tear it all down, put it back together, replace some stuff, but not all stuff, and it's not going to go to a machine shop. I ordered a tool from Flying Miata to be able to change out the valve seals. Other than that, we have everything we need, so just waiting for that to come in. But in the meantime, trying to figure out what I should be doing right now. I think I'm going to actually start taking the motor out of my car. So I already showed you guys this. Basically, it's just a fully assembled engine sitting in the car. That's got to come out. So pretty much while we're waiting on the parts to come in and waiting for the other stuff, then I'm just going to start working on that, because while we do only have 6 weeks, less than 6 weeks until the gap, there's like 45 days until we leave. We also just got some really unfortunate news, which I'm not going to get into in this video. We're probably going to make a whole video about that. But it's definitely throwing a big wrench into this equation of getting this car ready for the gap. Now, I'm still planning to have the car finished, still planning to bring it down. However, it's definitely going to be a little bit harder with what we got going on now. We got a lot more stuff to focus on other than just gap prep now. So keep an eye out for that video. That's going to be coming up very, very soon. But other than that, that's it for this video. So in the next video, we're going to get this engine pulled out. We're going to start working on the head. But keep an eye out for the next video. We're going to explain to you guys the bad news that we just got and what our plans are going to be for the future. But until then, we got to focus on this gap prep. And if you guys have not subscribed yet, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. If you guys are going to the gap, leave a comment down below. Let me know who we're going to see there, what kind of Miata you're bringing down. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.